to the Babe Bulletin podcast. I'm Alicia. I am a boudoir photographer in Port Washington, Wisconsin. And if you're new here, hi, welcome. I want to chat a little bit today about how boudoir can be therapeutic, which, if you're new to the genre of boudoir, you've probably only thought of it as sexy pictures that maybe you take for someone else. But I've found in my 7 years of doing this that there's a pretty big therapeutic element to this, which is great. You probably did not sign up for a session thinking you were going to get a little bit of mindfulness and self-help as well. But one of the reasons why I think boudoir can be so healing is because it teaches you how to embrace your body. And that's something that's really hard to do out in the world, especially if you're not really familiar with the concept of doing that. I certainly have struggled with body image for a very long time. And if someone were to show up and just say, hey, you need to love yourself, like, what does that mean? That's not really an actionable step. But if someone said, okay, like, lay your hands on your body gently and take deep breaths, inhale and exhale. And when your inner critic shows up, question it. Okay, now we've got some actionable steps. And those are things that I like to do in my sessions. And I think a lot of boudoir photographers probably do in theirs. The world is constantly bombarding us with unrealistic beauty standards. I mean, the diet industry is like a $90 billion industry. That's what they made in 2023. So there's a lot of money riding on us feeling bad about the way that our bodies look. And boudoir offers this safe space where you get to explore and let go of insecurities. You get to embrace the parts of you that are unique, and you get to celebrate your body in all of its glory. You can try different outfits that maybe you've never thought you could wear before. You get to move and shake your body in a way that maybe you haven't before. And then when you see your photos, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that's what I had going on back there. I can't tell you how many times I've had a client tell me, I don't like my butt. And I'm like, cool, thank you for sharing that with me. And then I photograph their butt and they're like, oh, I was wrong. I should have a little more appreciation for my booty. And it's like, yeah, exactly. Sometimes it just takes a shift in perspective and being able to see yourself in a new and different way to shut that inner critic down. It's just about looking through a different lens sometimes. And that's really hard to do on your own because we're so very much in our own brains and in our own bodies that, like, how are we supposed to see ourselves from a different perspective if we are the only ones viewing ourselves? So sometimes it just takes a little help from someone else, like maybe your friendly neighborhood boudoir photographer, to see yourself in just this whole new light and see your stretch marks or your cellulite or your scars or the extra jiggle around your tummy or thighs. Sometimes having a boudoir shoot is what it takes to just see those things in a fresh way. And by doing so, we can embrace ourselves, be a little kinder to ourselves, love ourselves just a little bit more, which is phenomenal. Who knew getting undressed and half naked in front of someone you barely know could do that? I also love boudoir as a therapeutic tool when we are trying to build our own self-confidence, because there really is, in my opinion, something undeniably empowering about stepping in front of a camera and just like owning your sensuality. Boudoir photography lets you tap into this inner confidence that maybe you didn't know was there or that you just need a little help coaxing out. You get to kind of channel your inner baddie, which is so much fun. If you've never worn, something sheer or leather or strappy before, here's your opportunity to play around with that. And if you struggle with feeling sexy, here's your safe space to practice that. I mean, feeling sexy is definitely something that I struggled with for a long time growing up. You very much were taught to not show a lot of skin. Sexuality just seemed very frowned upon. It was not acceptable to, be sexy. So when I reached a stage in my like adulthood where I wanted to experiment with that, I really didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to feel sexy or be sexy. And I know I am not the only person out there who that probably resonates with. If you grew up, especially if you grew up like in purity culture, for example, that could be a really hard feeling to have. Like, how do you feel sexy? How do you be sexy? Well, Boudoir gives you the opportunity to dip your little toes in the world of sexy and see what you like. What kind of wardrobe makes you feel sexy? What kind of movement makes you feel sexy? What kind of music makes you feel that way? Maybe I put on the playlist that I normally use and you're like, I'm not vibing with it. And we try something else. Cool. Maybe you hear a couple songs on the playlist that I always use and you're like, oh, I did not know a song like this existed. And that just kind of lets you tap into something inside of yourself. Who knows? As you're posing and working it in front of the camera, there's like this newfound sense of self assurance that can show up. And this confidence isn't just going to be something that happens during the photo shoot. That's what's so cool about Boudoir. I've always talked about the photos that I take and that, end up in the hands of one of my clients as like a physical affirmation. And affirmations are great and I love them and I say them all the time, but they're not tangible. So sometimes it's really easy for that just to kind of go in one ear and out the other. But when you have something tangible like a photo album or prints, you have something to return to on those days when your inner critic is just being a total jerk. When that voice shows up and is telling me, like, hey, wow, you have a lot of extra weight around your stomach. Who do you think you are? Oh my gosh, look at all of the cellulite on the front of your thighs. And you think you're going to go to the beach today with that much cellulite out, right? That voice shows up and starts talking to me. Oh, I'll tell you what, it's real nice to look at the picture of myself hanging on the wall where I look like a stone cold fox. And I'm like, what? Whatever. This voice is lying to me. I do not need to take this. I do not need to listen to this. And yes, I am going to go to the beach today and I'm going to have fun while I'm doing it. That's like a physical affirmation that I have, a physical reminder that my body is worth exploring the world. I am worth living my life despite what my weight is or what my skin looks like, etc., etc. And having something that you get to take home with you that creates that confidence, it's so great. um the confidence that you gain from your boudoir experience, that's going to stay with you for the rest of your life. And that can be really hard to attain in other ways. I always think of boudoir as a tool in your tool belt. Like, it shouldn't be the only thing we're relying on to build confidence, but it can definitely be a major part. And when you do look at your images, it's just a constant reminder of your inner strength and your beauty, which is really freaking cool that a genre of photography can do that. I think that's really cool, at least. The other thing that I really love about boudoir photography is how it allows people to express who they are. You kind of get to put your authentic self on the table a little bit. This means that we don't have to conform to any societal standard of beauty. Instead, we get to express our authentic self and celebrate the stuff that makes us uniquely you. A perfect example of this was a client I had recently who showed up with a Coca-Cola bottle Halloween costume and thigh-high red pleather boots. Now, if you said, Alicia, go out and find a boudoir outfit, a Halloween Coca-Cola bottle costume is not what I would have picked. But I'll tell you what, those photos were so joyful. and playful and fun. And we did like pinup style posing, and they were just so creatively wonderful and still pretty sexy at the same time. And I'm so happy that we did that. I'm so happy that this client had this idea and it related to something in her life. She knew that she and her partner were going to get a kick out of those images. And we got to create something that very much felt like her. And that's what's so great about Boudoir. If you have something that you want to bring in or wear or do that really feels like you, we can do it. I've had people bring in Magic the Gathering cards. I've had people bring in Harry Potter wands. I've had people bring in lingerie that they made. Someone like crocheted or knitted. I think she knitted her first outfit. How freaking cool is that? Like, I would never be able to do that, but it's a talent she has. And I think that's really cool. When you get to have an opportunity to express yourself authentically and really let your personality shine, you're creating images that will really resonate with you for the rest of your life. And that's what shows you how beautiful you are. It's something to look back on and remember, okay, yeah, I'm a really cool person. I'm very funny, or I'm very talented, or look at what I can make, look at what I can do. Again, that's one of the reasons why I love Boudoir and why I think Boudoir can be so healing, because we don't get to capture that part of ourselves very often. Boudoir also lets people kind of heal from within, which I love. It's not just about taking sexy pictures or pretty pictures, at least not at my studio. I think Boudoir is more about embarking on this journey of self discovery and healing. And through the process of Boudoir, you learn to embrace or maybe just feel neutral about vulnerabilities that maybe you have. You're given the opportunity to confront your insecurities face to face. Like, they're there, they're in the picture. What are you going to do about it? You're going to treat yourself poorly? You're going to treat yourself with kindness and self respect. There's your opportunity to do so. You get to reclaim your power. You get to take back what other people maybe said about you that was negative, and you get to prove to yourself those things aren't as bad as maybe we thought that they were. And you get to come out of your boudoir experience feeling stronger and more confident and more empowered than ever before. I have done multiple sessions myself, and I always leave feeling better about my body than when I walked in. I have photos of myself hanging up in my bedroom. I have an album from one of my sessions, and I have dozens of self-portrait pictures saved on my computer that I go back to when I need that boost. And just knowing that they exist and that the sky did not fall from me being photographed, nothing bad happened, that alone is enough to heal something that was broken for a very long time inside of myself. Because boy, for a long time I did not enjoy being in front of the camera, and being photographed made me really, really uncomfortable. And I'll tell you what, if you can do a boudoir shoot, you can do any type of photography. If you feel uncomfortable getting your photo taken, do a boudoir session, because you will never feel uncomfortable again. Well, maybe I can't promise that, but let me say, if you can get photographed in lingerie, you will certainly knock the heck out of your wedding photos or family photos or what have you. And I think it's so important to be documented, and it's so important to be in front of the camera, especially if you're a woman, especially if you're a mom, because I know moms, I know you guys are the ones behind the camera taking all of the photos, and you probably don't have many pictures of yourself. It's so important to get in front of that camera for your own sake, for the sake of the people that you love who want photos of you. Just boudoir just like gets rid of this self-doubt that maybe you have. And I'm not saying it's a magical cure that's going to fix every insecurity or self-esteem issue that you might have, but it certainly helps a lot. I've had clients come back to me after their sessions and say, I have never felt this way about my body before. Thank you for helping me see that. And getting messages like that just remind me that, yeah, this genre is so healing. It's incredible. It's so much more than a photo shoot. It's transformative. It's therapeutic. It's not therapy. I want to make that very clear. If you are really struggling or you've got some mental health issues, you just need somebody to talk to, please find a therapist that you vibe with who can help you, because boudoir is not therapy, but it can be healing and it can be therapeutic. And I think it can be something you use alongside with therapy if body image issues is something that you're really struggling with, because it can help you embrace your body, build your self-confidence, express your authentic self, like we talked about, and really just heal from within. You don't need anybody else to help you heal. This is something that you're doing for yourself on your own. And it's really incredible to see people's faces light up when they view photos of themselves like this for the first time, because something goes off, like a little light bulb goes off, and they're like, oh, I do have a good body. I do deserve love and respect. I'm hot. Sometimes people are just like, I did not know I was this hot. Oh my gosh. And that's what it takes to just embark on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment. So, if you're curious about boudoir, I highly recommend checking it out and seeing if you can find a photographer who you click with. I think that's really important, especially if you want this to be a healing and empowering experience. You need to vibe and click with your photographer. Do a little bit of research, find someone whose style you like, reach out to them, talk to them, and maybe give boudoir a try if you are ready to finally heal and see yourself in a whole new way. I I can promise you, I don't think you're going to regret it. It really is a wonderful experience that I think every person should try at least once in their life. And if you want to learn more about my studio or what I think of boudoir, feel free to reach out. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Buxom Boudoir. I'm all over the social media, I guess, over there. My website is buxomboudoir.com. And you're always welcome to email me or DM me, even if you just have questions or you just need a support system. I'm happy to help. And the last thing, really, that I want to leave you with is just a reminder that your body is a good body. Maybe you don't always feel that way, and that's okay. Not every single day has to be a good body image day, but I do hope you get to a point where you are having more good days than bad days. All right. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and hopefully you will hear from me again in the next episode. Bye.